Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything LCS, Season 4, Episode 7, I think? 7 or 8. Very prepared. Magi is having camera troubles tonight, so you're just going to see Magi's beautiful, beautiful icon in Discord there.
Isn't it amazing, guys?
Let me actually swap us here, because that way our Twitter things will be below us. Where did you go? There you are. There we go. I work with the low budget LCS, so we do the low budget podcast here every week.
Extremely low budget because one co-host doesn't have a working camera.
It's the content that matters, right? It's the content that matters.
That's why people come here, for the hard-hitting content that we bring them.
That's right. And Laser, I love you too. Thank you.
I also love Laser.
I do love Laser. We just saw it. Actually, this is a perfect segue because we just saw Laser at finals weekend in Raleigh, where Magi, myself, and Laser attended.
Did Laser walk by me and not say hi?
Yeah. You know what's funny? We didn't.
I had a feeling, but I wasn't sure.
We didn't know at the time, but Mad put her vlog out. Hi Lemon. Matt put her vlog out at the event, and there's the part of the video where me and you are like posing for our picture together. Laser is right in the background, but I don't think he saw us because our backs are to him, and we're looking at the camera. But then we were rewatching the video to edit it. We're like, "That's Laser right there." It was really funny. But yeah, Magi, you went to finals weekend in Raleigh. How was it? Did you have fun?
Okay. Let me just say, first of all, how the hell are you, Vega?
I'm great. I'm great. I feel like I went through a lot of emotional stuff with CLG and all that, but now I'm kind of like on the other side.
It's okay. Do you think there's still time for me to buy one of their jerseys? I feel like I became a really hard fan.
You did
during their rough years, because I started watching them. We just opened up with the end of CLG.
You know what? CLG effigy here live on Eulogy
here live. Yeah, no, I actually started watching esports LCS when CLG was hitting MSI. That was when I actually started, because I was already playing League for a little bit, but like MSI was the first time I actually started watching the pro scene, and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" And then it was CLG in the final. They got clapped, but it was a good tournament, and that's honestly one of the most memorable things I have of CLG, other than the years now.
It's wild. I've been a CLG fan pretty much since they have existed, and it's weird now being on the other side of like, okay, who am I gonna root for? Part of me, I've gone through all of the Golden Guardians. Pretty hard sold me at finals on being a Golden Guardians fan.
Golden Guardians fan?
I mean, Inero gave me some real special treatment. Yeah, I was like, you know what?
He followed me back finally.
Dude, yeah, he's the man.
We should try and get him on the show.
Big shout out. We should. Just big shout out to him. He was awesome all weekend. But you know me, and if there was ever a time, can you see my camera?
I can't see your camera.
There was ever a time to jump ship and just fully become an LCK supporter. I mean, would there be a better time?
The full LCK. Guys, we're gonna lose Vega to LCK, and he's gonna be casting LCK.
I'm gonna be the first North American import to another region. No, I mean, now
tell him to not go.
Now I'm pretty much everything LCK. I'm pretty much now. I mean, obviously, I'm going to root for NRG because all the players and a lot of the staff are still there as far as the coaching staff goes. Obviously, I'm still going to root for them because, I love the boys. It still is CLG.
Did NRG just, eat CLG?
The league roster and coaching staff, but most of the regular staff is gone.
Well, yeah, because Energy already has an org, but they don't have a
Yeah.
league staff.
But yeah, like
So makes
DeMonte,
sense.
Thinkert, all them are all over with it.
Do you think they took this facility?
I don't know actually. I don't know if they're still using CLG's facility or not. But yeah, I don't know. Teams out there, this is your chance to pitch me.
So it's just a Koi matter, because I mean, not like Rogue had like a
Right.
lot of stuff, but it's like a Koi. It's like
It's
a
almost
Koi
exactly
matter.
like that. Which
Yeah,
honestly, we can kind of talk
because
about. I know we're gonna talk
it's
about
not like
Raleigh.
Rogue, because it's not like Rogue is in other esports anymore, right?
Right. I think it's
Yeah.
similar because now Madison Square Garden Group still has like a 20 or 30% share now in NRG. So it's almost exactly like the Rogue Koi, where like Rogue still has like a portion. Fix this real fast. Rogue still has like a portion of ownership of Koi. It's just like a smaller portion. So if there's like profits, they get a part of it. But they're not in anything else. The ownership group just got a part of a new org. And it's the same thing. Like essentially Madison Square Garden Group now owns a piece of NRG, and NRG gets all of the stuff CLG had.
Hmm.
So, I it sucks obviously, but
Oh
also
yeah, dude, definitely.
I'm looking on the bright side here.
TSM's gone too. No, I'm joking. That's
Yeah,
also really sad.
united in rivalry.
Oh man.
We wouldn't even be beat to get out of the league first. No, I mean I think it's a good sign that an org, because NRG is a pretty established org now in esports. A lot of league fans remember them from when they first came in,
Yeah.
and were kind of like low budget, weird team that didn't seem like overly invested.
They were my underdog team. I actually
Yeah,
rooted for them.
I did
They
too. They
were
had
they
Gate
were
My Mom.
terrible. Yeah.
I loved them.
They were awful, but Quas was my guy.
Yeah, Claus, dude. But now that org has actually been really successful in a lot of other esports, and I think it's a good sign for LCS that an org of their size wanted to buy CLG slot and property.
Yeah.
That they wanted to be like, okay, yeah, we want to buy it, and we want this franchise slot. And I don't know if you've had a chance to watch Travis's interview that came out today with the head of esports from Riot.
Yeah, I actually watched it all.
If no one in chat's watched it, watch it. It's a really good video, a lot of good information there. Those always give me like a little bit of a okay, things are okay.
Things are fine.
Riot's not going to let LCS fall under because they're a North American company.
Yeah, no, not at all, not at all.
Yeah,
I just can't see it. It's like, and I don't know how they can let that happen when they're still filling arenas. Really, even on Easter, they're still filling arenas.
There's an interview with or maybe Steve. It was just Steve on Hotline League that said like 100,000 concurrent viewers is enough to support the league. Like it is. It's just like you wouldn't be able to support it on the salaries they were doing before. It's just teams have to tailor themselves, because right now the estimate I've heard is teams are making right around $3 million a year from league, from Riot. The Riot is paying the leagues. That's not counting their teams, specific sponsorships or anything like that. And I think that it's very possible to run a North American League of Legends organization under $3 million a year. That's probably possible. That's why some people have said teams like Immortals are actually doing pretty well financially, because and Golden Guardians, because their rosters are not super expensive, that they're actually, a net positive, and it's easy for them to go back to their orgs, and be like, hey, we're not in danger of selling our spot because we're not overspending for our spot.
Yeah.
They're actually making money off it. Yeah. So I think we'll probably see more of that in the future. You know what I mean? NRG probably looks at CLG's roster and it's like, hey, CLG has a bunch of expenses, stuff like that, but their League of Legends roster is not overly expensive and has performed decently well. That's probably a sound investment, right? That roster is not costing $3 million a year.
I mean, it sounds like what you're saying is that LCS is about to turn around to how I feel LEC spending is. I feel like LEC players aren't paid like that much. They're not paid like LCS players' wages, but it's like they're paid like pretty decently. But EU players even say they're like, oh man, I could always just go to NA and like make more money and everything. But it seems like things have balanced out between the two regions, and now NA is like, oh man, why is LAC doing so well? Hey, they actually didn't pay, other than like one other org, Vitality, because like we didn't
Well,
really
yeah, but
pay people like
I
that much.
mean,
Like G2 didn't pay people that much money. Fnatic didn't.
yeah,
Like it's not. Yeah, that's what it is. Unlike NA, they just like moneyballed it. But now,
it.
yeah,
I agree, and I think it's good. Like, I honestly think that an LCK next year rumored to get a salary cap, so that's going to be a whole thing. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out, but I think it's a good idea. One good thing that comes from that interview with Travis is they talk about how the first decade of League of Legends esports, they tried to market it as a sport and make money off it like a sport, but it doesn't really work the same because of how
yeah,
viewership works in esports, which is if you're in basketball or football, you can sell the viewership rights to like a TV channel. Like TNT is going to pay so many millions of dollars a year to be able to broadcast the games, right? Whereas like in esports, you kind of are shackled to YouTube and Twitch, right? Because that's where
yeah.
people are. That's where people want to watch esports. So your deals have to be more, and I'm glad they point this out in the article, which is more digital stuff. Like let me buy skins for my team and let me buy, award skin for my team or a banner or
That's
something
what
for
I've
my
been asking.
profile.
Like, dude, if LCS was doing, if you win the league, you get award skin at least, like a team award skin,
I would just want the beginning
um,
of every. It should
or
be,
a chroma or something
yeah.
for like
There
team
should be,
chromas.
my opinion. There should be, and they said there's so many teams worldwide that it's hard to do. But honestly, I know this is going to suck for wildcard regions, but if you just did the major regions, it'd be 47 teams, and all you'd have to do in the shop is say, like, you could buy an LCS pack, which is like a ward skin, an emote, and like a profile thing for like the whole league you want, or you can buy your team's individual one, and if they win a league, you get like a prestige version of all three of those things.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, if your team wins LCS, you could get a ward skin that's like, is the LCS trophy with your team's logo on top of it, which would be awesome, right? I would buy that. It wouldn't even have to be that much. But if they were talking about the Valorant, like, champion skins, that skin line, it made $42 million.
Oof.
And 21 million of that went to teams. Like, a lot of people don't really like think about how much money like skins make, but they said 3 of the top 6 selling skins of all time are world skins. I wish they would have told us which ones they were, but it's crazy to think about that 3 of the top
like
6 all time are
now,
they're world skins.
do they mean world skins as in like teams world skins, or are they also including challenger skins too? Like that.
I don't know. They said world skins, so I'm assuming that they mean like skins made for teams, because the whole point of it was saying like making content around teams. But they could be trying to slide that in as a thing. But I can't imagine. Championship Riven is the only one I can think of that's like hyper popular championship skin.
Championship Kazakhs. Everyone liked it when Championship Kazakhs came out, and they had the chromas for it.
That was awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like digital. Well, they said also there's for this Worlds this year, there's going to be like a digital package you can buy, and some of the things they said were possible in it was like you have like certain like a special chat room for people who bought into it, where like players and all that stuff will be posting stuff behind the scenes and all that, and you can get like a merch shop that the stuff that's available in the arena for people who buy into this pass. You can buy into it, and I'm like, yeah, do that, man. People will buy that, and that's just more money for the teams. And the people who don't want to pay for that stuff, they won't pay for it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
More revenue, more avenues of revenue does not hurt. Like the more ways, like straight up, if there was a CLG pack where I could buy a bunch of CLG stuff for my profile, I would have bought it, like in a heartbeat.
Yeah, people who like the product will support, what they like. That's just what it is. And
yeah,
it sucks that it's taken them so long to realize, but it's just they've learned from LCS's infancy, and then they made like Valorant just better LCS, and now they're like, all right, now let's just upgrade LCS some more.
yeah. How do we take what we've learned with it? They really have learned a lot from League Esports and then done it right with Valorant from the start,
Yeah.
which I really like. I mean, Valorant. I hope Valorant gets huge because it's just more, eyes on video games and stuff like that. And I think cross pollination is good too. I think if Valorant gets big, people spill over into other Riot games and things like that. And I don't think League is going anywhere. We're this far into it now, and it's still growing in China and Korea.
Years.
Yeah.
10 years.
More. I mean, it's like
Wait,
10
more. Yeah, it's past
the 10-year
years.
anniversary was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
LCK has a big. I'm answering Queso's question thing. Are there learnings for LPL and LCK you'd like to see them implement? LCK is going to get a salary cap supposedly next year, and I think that's going to be a huge thing. I think that will be, if that works, I think that could be something that Riot implements in other regions that want it. That could be really good, because all traditional sports have that. It's a way to keep things, from getting way out of hand. And like they did the first time, let's say we do have a rebound in esports and money starts flowing back in, a salary cap would keep it from getting completely out of hand again. Because it feels like the focus now for Riot is team sustainability. Like, how do we make sure teams...
What would you say would be a good cap for the salary?
It's usually a team cap. So you'd say, like... I don't know the inner workings of financials and people's deals, but you'd think somewhere around like 2 million salary cap for a team.
Okay.
I mean, then you're able to, if you wanted to, you could pay like 2-star players like $500K, which in esports is, I know it's not what it used to be, but it's a huge salary. Then you've got 3 guys filling out the other $1 million on your roster, and then, that incentivizes smart roster building, right? Not just like, I'm going to go throw $1.5 million at 5 players and then be out of the league in 2 years because I spent $10 million on roster. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in that number, I don't know exactly what rosters are costing right now. I know some players are making a ton, but I know a lot of players, this year took a big hit.
No, things went down a lot for a lot of players. But it didn't go down a lot. The excitement I experienced at finals, man. It was...
Thanks for bringing us back.
like that transition, man. Yeah,
very good.
The finals was, as somebody who's gone to Worlds now twice, I guess. Yeah. Has gone to Worlds now twice. But it was only groups. It just finals felt. LCS finals felt so much different, so much more hype. It felt a lot more. I just felt so much going on. I felt there was. I don't know. It felt a lot better than groups, which is good. I didn't think there'd be much of a difference between I'm just going to another live event, but that's not the case. Finals was awesome. I recommend it to everybody. If anyone who I met at finals is listening to this now, thank you for accepting my sticker and talking to me. But yeah, no, finals awesome. Vega, how'd you like your finals? Was that your first one?
No. I saw CLG beat TSM in MS at Mexico Garden.
Yeah.
So I may have gone to the best final ever, but here's what I'll say. This is the first one I attended with my daughter, she is into Valorant. She's not into League a ton. And she
no one saw Vega side eye, but it was such a side eye with Valorant.
Whatever, that's what the kids like, But she had a blast, and that almost made it even better for me because she was so into especially the FlyQuest Golden Guardian series was so hype, and we were our seats were right in front of the Golden Guardians booth with all of their family in it. And my daughter is a FlyQuest fan, so it was very funny seeing our reactions versus them screaming behind us. Of course, on day 2, we were huge Golden Guardian. We jumped on the Golden Guardians bandwagon, and we're like, all right, we want Golden Guardians to win finals. Awesome event. Even though the first day there was rain, I thought they did a great job moving things inside. There were still, booths available to do stuff. And day 2 was sunny. And all the event stuff outside was awesome. The games were really good, really hype. Got to meet a ton of people I haven't seen in a long time. It was great. It was a great event. I had a blast.
Oh yeah. Did you get to play the Mage Seeker?
I did not.
Oh, I did.
I know you did.
That was really fun. I feel like I was the only one in my group that actually beat the demo. I was I was screen peeking at the guy next to me, and he like died, and I was like, "Ha, nice!" And I beat the boss first try. I was like, I'm too good at these indie games. But
When
everyone, go get Mage Seeker.
when I saw it and they're like, it's kind of like Hades, I was like, Magic's gonna love this game.
You know what? Yes, it felt weird though with the so with the chains you could like steal powers and
Yeah.
grab people, um and it felt weird starting off getting the hang of it, but I'm not sure if it's clunky. It just feels weird because you're like, all right, chain, wrong chain, chain, wrong chain this time, and but you know, I never died in the demo, so
I watched Captain Flowers play it a lot last night. He was streaming it.
yeah.
So that was fun.
Did he die?
At some point, yeah. I think at some point he died. I think he died fighting, I don't know spoilers, but he died fighting Morgana at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, that was awesome. All the merch booths we went to, people were so nice. Hi, Casey. People were so nice. We went to the
Hello.
Dignitas booth, and
Yeah.
they asked my daughter, they're like, how old are you? And she's like, I'm 10 years old. And they were like, okay, take a free jersey. And we were like, what?
Sick.
I was like, man, my daughter's gonna love you guys now. But that's how you do it, man. You get them when they're young. You give them something free, they latch on. Too bad she already had a FlyQuest jersey. But
did she trade it in for the other FlyQuest jersey? Did she trade the Dig jersey for the newer FlyQuest?
Should have gone him and like give us a new FlyQuest jersey. Took pictures with like the trophies and stuff like that. It was awesome. Got to talk to Flowers. Yeah, the whole event was great, man.
I was way too nervous when I went up to get pictures. I was able to talk to some, but with like Azale and Captain Flowers, I like could not really have a whole conversation.
Dude, I was nervous, but the most nervous I was me and Tenacity had this super awkward interaction because okay, so you know who the streamer Jaden, she's like a Masters 80 carry player.
Yeah.
She's friends with my girlfriend. So when we saw her, my girlfriend's like, "Oh, hey, hi Jaden, let's get each other for our vlogs, blah blah blah." But Jaden was with Tenacity.
Yeah.
And so then me and Tenacity are just standing there like, I'm like, "Hey, you gotta get a picture?" And he's like, "Sure." I was like, "This is so fucking awkward." I was like, I'm like 10 years older than Tenacity.
You're like, wanna take a picture?
Yeah, and then
yeah, man. So
Jaden's like, "Why don't you ever smile in pictures, Tenacity?" I was like, "It's okay, I won't smile either." So now I have this really awkward picture of me and Tenacity where both of us are like mean mugging the camera. Yeah,
man.
so that's that happened. Outside of that though, I talked to Revenge a little bit and was like, my co-host probably would have voted you first team all league top laner.
Oh man, I wish I talked to too. I wish I was like, I wish I said something like that.
Dude, I saw Jack. And then obviously Inero was awesome all weekend. So
I caught Vulcan and JoJo.
Oh, nice.
Actually, they were walking up the steps, and then I was like, man, they're right there. And then my friend just said, "Go, just go," and I screamed. And it was like my shirt. No one. Oh, I got a shirt, and I'm getting all the pro player, whoever is esports.
Anyone esports. I'm gonna call Travis Gafford out right now. Every time I see Travis Gafford, he looks at me like he's mad at me.
Wait, what?
Like, I don't know what I did.
What do you mean? Wait, you saw Travis?
I've seen Travis at 2 events now. And both times I was like, "Hey, Travis." And he was like, "Hey." And I'm like, "Dude, what did I do to you, Travis? Is this because we called in to Hotline League and plugged everything LCS?"
How does he know you're from everything LCS?
I don't know. It's like he just knows. I'm like, all right. But yeah. It was great. It was a great
I
event.
read down JoJo and Vulcan. I told Vulcan I followed him since Clutch, and that I was wondering why they didn't put him and Cody Sun in sooner because they were smacking people in Academy. He appreciated that, but I said I better see him. Is that a Gragas mug? Nice.
No, it's actually just we had it for Ren Fair. It's just a mug.
Oh, I need
But
to
you can actually, you know, funny enough though, I do have a tiny Gragas barrel at my desk that got thrown at me at Worlds.
Yeah, I got a tiny Ziggs bomb. Don't know where that is, but Midnight Finals was awesome. For the games, Golden Guardians Flag Quest, amazing. I was so happy it was a 5-game series. I was like, nice, my first finals weekend, 5-game series, first day, because I knew the next day I was saying 3-0. Other people were saying 3-1, but I could not.
I said 3-0 C9. I was like,
yeah.
I want Golden Guardians to do, but that first game, the first 2 games actually, I was like, oh my god,
it should have been a 5-game series.
Yeah, it should have been a 5-game series. Man, it was great. For anybody who wants to, New Jersey has summer finals. I will be there. Magi will be there. Matt will be there. So go. You know, let's set up a meet and greet or something. You know, like just we will be there. Come see us. Come say hi. I will have maybe more merch, maybe different merch.
True.
You know, now that I have more time to think about it, maybe I'll get more merch. And I don't have to, take it on a plane now. I can get different stuff. But yeah. That'll be fun. But let's move on because we spent a lot of time on that, but it was a lot of fun. MSI.
Everyone go.
Yeah, MSI is next. And we're sending C9. It's going to be in the upper bracket. Golden Guardian's going to be in the lower bracket, the play-in stage of it. How do you feel about LCS chances at MSI?
LCS chances at MSI. Honestly, the thing is, we have a good amount of. It's weird. I just believe this format is better for us. Will we get top 4? No, because there's 2 LPL teams and 2 LCK teams.
2 LCK teams starting in the upper bracket too.
Starting in the upper bracket also. Honestly, not too worried about LAC. Honestly, I feel LAC's been looking a little weak this year.
I agree.
Other than G2, but then G2 kind of faltered. Now BDS is looking good, but man. Yeah, anyways, LAC is looking weak. But yeah, I think with the format, it just might give NA not a better chance, but more room to fix mistakes. Because, you do a best of 3. All right, we lost 2 games in a row instead of 1 game. We have a lower bracket run to do. We can just look at those VODs, especially if you go against LPL or LCK first and lose against them, or if you win against them.
Yeah, that would be huge. Yeah.
So I think this is it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, here's why I'm looking at it. So for people who don't know, the play-in stage is I think 8 teams.
Yes. Because there's 5 already in the bracket.
There's 5 wild cards. There's 5 in the bracket stage, and then you have 8 in the play-in stage. And in the play-in stage is essentially the 2 seed from all the regions. So China's 2nd seed, EU 2nd seed, NA 2nd seed, and then 5 wild card teams.
Yes.
Because both Korean teams start in the main stage. So the way it works is just a double elimination bracket, and then there's 2 brackets essentially of 4 teams. The winner of the 2 brackets automatically goes to the next stage of the tournament. But all the losers play in the losers bracket, and the winner of the losers bracket goes also. So 3 teams get out to the next round, which theoretically is good for us because China, Europe, and NA all have their 2nd season there. So theoretically, you would think that major region teams should beat wildcard teams to advance. And there's 3 slots, and there's 3 major region teams there. The the main stage is just 8 teams, double elimination bracket. You lose, you go down to losers bracket, you get a chance to go to the finals. Which still, just like you said, and the upper bracket is best of 5 all the way through. So that is hype as hell. There's no best of ones at this whole tournament, which I love. But I think one reason I'm really confident here is both the teams we're sending were super aggressive. Like Golden Guardians, 100% on attacking you in the early game, like going after you, doing stuff. Whereas C9, same thing. We saw like their adjustments after playing against Golden Guardians and losing, barely winning game 1, winning game 2. But both teams are also super willing to counterpick. They're like, absolutely, we're down to play comps to counter what the other team is doing, not just necessarily what's meta. And I love that. And I love sending both. C9's hungry for different reasons. Golden Guardians obviously wants to prove themselves. C9 wants to prove that they're good internationally after Worlds. So both hungry teams, I think, that will want to prove stuff on the international stage. And yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to see how they actually perform. I know, especially in the top lane, Licorice's new mindset, new mental state in terms of how he feels about playing, how he feels about the game, how he feels about his career. It's like, if I lose, that's okay. If I win, that's cool. And that's a good mindset to not make things affect him so much. So hopefully, we won't see a shift from this past finals just because Scrim's not going well, getting completely destroyed by these LCK tops and LCK and LPL tops. And we'll still see him with this confidence going in. And I honestly think 6A and Huhi are gonna be pretty okay. I'm more concerned about Sven, not Berserky, of course. I'm more concerned about Sven.
Me too.
Not having some of the best games, because if anything, the weakest point in C9 is Sven. Just because I always feel he is, in fact, getting caught.
He had some bad games in finals.
Yeah, in finals too. Overstepping where he just like dies. And it won't be like how it is versus Golden Guardians where you can die in the early game and they'll still come back after that one death. No, they'll get clapped immediately. Like LPL and LCK will definitely attack that type of deficit early super hard. So I don't know. I'm just really looking forward to it. And as I said, more room to learn. Better than 1 game a day. Better 2 to 3 games a day than just 1 game a day.
Bio has a question. Who are you most interested in seeing at MSI? Individual person and then team. You want to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. 2 people I'm really interested in seeing. This is gonna feel bad. Actually, I'll say 3 because I do want to see how he does. Number 1, Jimenez. I think he's sick mechanical player, and I want to see how he does after scrimming against Faker and Chovy and Knight and all these people. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see. Jimenez seems really hungry to prove like how good he is, and his teamwork on C9 has gotten nothing but better over time.
C9 is life.
Yeah, so I've actually I love him. His stream is so funny, dude. Even if he is 0-1 against me in solo queue. I do think like seeing his growth over the course of that tournament will be really interesting. Or is it like an ego check of like, he's big fish, small pond, or is he actually like really sick? Number 2, River. I want to see how River does internationally, dude. This guy was great internationally when he was in LMS. LCK Slayer, man. I want to see it. And then last, Berserker. I mean, anytime Berserker and Guma are in a tournament together, there's going to be hype around, like... We actually have, at this tournament, Berserker, Guma, and Ruler coming from China. So, we could potentially have Ruler against Genji at this tournament, which would be sick. But yeah, those are the 3 guys I really have circled. As like, I think they're good storylines for the tournament. For team, it's Genji all the way. They have never shown up internationally. And they just won LCK. They upset SK2, whoever I believe was 100% going to win the split. So I think eyes are on Genji.
Choke one.
Yeah, so I think eyes on Gen G. And well, SKT for the same vein, right? Just LCK powerhouses of, can SKT actually win an international tournament again? It's been a while. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Well, I feel I'm pretty excited to see Adam. Adam.
Adam's sick.
Come from LAC. No memes either. All of BDS. BDS is in fact the best team in LAC right now.
But yeah, they're sick.
Yeah, everybody else's games. Honestly, oh man, LAC games have looked worse than LCS games as of late. Especially from what I've seen from playoffs so far. Besides BDS has been playing insanely well. And I'm excited to see Adam perform. We're gonna see Garen, guys. We have to see Garen. We're gonna see Garen. We're gonna see Set. Olaf isn't as special anymore. We're gonna see Darius. All right, guys. Like, I mean, they're not confirmed at MSI yet, but I'm praying, I'm hoping they get the title so Mad Lion doesn't go, because I don't really want to see Mad Lions.
I do. I think Mad Lion should go. I think Mad Lion should go and get crushed by North America at MSI, so that we can continue to talk shit.
So we continue to talk shit on EU, but with team, I have to say Loud. I feel
Loud's awesome.
Everyone was hyping them up last Worlds, and they got it. They deserved it. They actually almost got out of groups. No, they actually almost got out of play-ins. My bad. Which is pretty impressive for a CBLOL team. Honestly, doesn't happen that often. So seeing them in a best of setting, I'm looking forward to see how they perform. I feel like there's another.
I mean,
player.
Is this DFM's time? Another good question.
Oh
I
yeah, dang,
Reaper's
team didn't make it.
Yeah, well, I mean, DFM's been the team from Japan for how many years now?
And they did it without Evie this time.
Yeah. Who do you think? I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's winning MSI?
Who's winning MSI? I can't say BDS because they didn't make it yet. So I'm going to say T1.
T1? You're cursing them.
Is good.
They're going to lose in Game 5 now in finals.
Fantastic. And if they don't, I'm just like, MSI is this T1's tournament, man. They own. They
lost. They lost last year in Game 5, right?
I think so.
The RNG.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. In Korea, I think, right? No, because China played remote, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
I believe so.
You guys can think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. It's not a hot take or anything. JDG's winning MSI, and Ruler is just gonna further his case as the second best player of all time.
Okay.
That's also another hot take. I think Ruler's the second best player of all time. Yeah, I think JDG could win. They're great. Actually, I don't know.
I mean, Ruler is the second best player of all time. So you just made your case.
He is.
They are an LPL team with the second best player of all time. You have to give them the credit.
He's got. Yeah, he definitely is. He's the greatest AD carry to ever play the game. That's not even.
Just so you know, if NA or EU win MSI, you could thank me or Vega.
We've cursed the other two regions.
For cursing the other two regions.
We are cursing the other regions, so you guys don't have to. And now that I'm unshackled from CLG, I could just be the fanboy we always wanted of just being like, I don't even know if Korea drops a game to non-Korean opponents.
From now on, LCK continues to lose all because Vega has completely jumped ship.
We just have too much power. Here's what I'll say. Man. This is a truth. Knight has not historically done well internationally, so I'm looking at like the offsetting. Can Ruler's strength offset Knight's tilting at international events?
Knight, more like Squire, because He's not.
Dude, Flowers had a
But
call in Raleigh.
yeah.
He's like something about Golden Guardians is committing regicide as they take down Prince, and I was like, "That's such a good call." I was like,
that.
"That's such a good call, man." Okay.
Oh my God.
Now that we've talked about all this great stuff, let's move on to some depressing news.
Hey, it's not too depressing.
It's not that depressing.
You know,
I was gonna break this, and now it's been broken before I could. I had an inside source. I even verified it with a second source.
Yeah.
It's now public knowledge. Riot has not announced it themselves, but now multiple sources have come out and said, during summer, it is summer. I did confirm it is summer. Riot
it's happening this summer?
Yes, Riot will no longer require LCS teams to have academy teams. They do not have to have one.
Okay, so
they no longer have to.
Do you think any teams are just not going to have an academy team this
summer? What I've heard is the only ones that are like people are really sure about are C9 and TL.
That aren't having one or having
that are having one. But none of the others are confirmed. Yeah, none of the others are confirmed.
Like C9's has, C9, and TL's has been good also.
And they use it. Those are two teams that use their academy systems a lot. I imagine maybe FlyQuest, Golden Guardians might, since they've been active with theirs. But the majority of, and the reason Riot's doing this, for people who don't know, is obviously the economy is not great right now, and this is another way for Riot to incentivize teams, saying like, hey, you're no longer required to pay this salary and coaching staff for an academy. We're not going to make you have that expense. As long as you're dedicated to your main LCS roster and that product, we're not going to require you. And also, I think it's helped that, like Team Tony Top has been great and stuff like that, that a bunch of these amateur teams have popped up that are pretty, people like watching, that are fun to watch. And I think that has helped them kind of be like, okay, the amateur system is now starting to thrive a little bit. We don't have to have LCS teams put in. It does suck for a lot of academy players, because it does mean not going to have the structure they had before, but
yeah,
I'm trying to be positive.
I think it's just more unfortunate that they didn't try to emulate the EU system earlier, because when LEC started their franchising, they did have the mandatory academy system, but they already had EU Masters, so it wasn't something really necessary for them. I wish that when they started, when LCS started franchising, that was a time to start this little like tier 2 like scene. They could have done, I'll just say NACL because that's be easier, not instead of academy, like NACL West, NACL Central, and NACL East. Because, a bunch of teams got gimped. Well, not gimped, but a lot of teams didn't make franchising. And during that time, a lot wanted in. So that would have been a good time to be like, hey, you guys didn't get into here. But, this is where they learned from Valorant, actually.
Valorant having the open system is huge. Because
what is it? They have the permanent partners. But then, like, the open system is you could, like, win and then get into the...
You could qualify for tournaments with the permanent partners,
Yeah.
Which is awesome. That's sick, because then you see teams like... And I know these teams aren't really, like, supposed to, like... They have the Game Changers thing, which is the women's only league. And then you see teams like Disguised Toast has, like, the all-female team with, like, Kaide and stuff. And they got, like, 100,000 viewers on, like, a qualification match. And if you have an open system like that, you could see more stuff like, oh man, Sneaky and Meteos just threw together a team to play an amateur. Oh, now 60, 70,000 people are watching this amateur match and driving resources towards it because, big names are in it, It's like, that's a byproduct you don't see anymore. When there was promotion relegation, do you remember the I'm a Cutie Pie Scara team?
Oh, yeah.
They were awful, but...
The Meme Team Dream Team.
Meme Team Dream Team. But I watched all their matches because I was like, dude, how can you not watch this team? But that's an avenue that when you have full franchise teams, you just don't see, and that's something special that esports can do that like traditional sports can't have. And I think that's awesome. I think we should lean more into stuff like that. I wish there were, like you were saying, more, instead of calling it like an academy league, calling it like
well, it's NACL now. It's North American Challengers.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it even sounds like, I feel like it should be just more like the North American Open Division, where it's like open teams that can play, and it was like its own thing.
That was Open Division. It sounds like a bad name.
It's open. Just come on in. Just come play.
I get it.
Also, small rant. Seeing Valorant's Clash equivalent. Have you seen it?
Oh, dude,
it's
I saw that.
Sick.
I was like, this is just. It's more consistent.
It's just better Clash. Structured. It's just strictly
better Clash. I said that. I retweeted it. I was like, this is just better Clash, man. I'm like, this is crazy.
I'm like, please give us this. I would play this all the time.
They can't because our client is broken.
Yeah, ranked is disabled right now. It doesn't work. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh man! Wow.
I actually saw. It actually reminded me because I had the client up for a second and I saw Excellent sitting in a lobby creating ranked game, and I was like, "How is he doing that?" And then I realized you could, if you were in a lobby, you could still be in it, but you can't queue up. I think more amateur teams would be cool. I think your idea of being able to, in summer, there being like 2 dedicated slots that like amateur teams could play their way into.
Yeah, I think it would really give it'd give a lot of incentive, and also, just could give monetary stuff too, because you know how crazy it would be if a Team Tony Top like got into LCS.
Dude, Team Tony Top is so fun to watch.
Or Team Taco Fish, freaking Dardock gets back into the LCS.
I also, this is like a weird
just for the
spitball
split,
idea.
As I said.
This will not happen, but a weird spitball idea. There should be an open qualification 2 wildcard spots for Worlds, to where like you just have like, okay, there's the amateur team in North America, there's EU Masters, there's all these things around the world, and you just, in the time like right before like summer finals is happening and all that for all the regions, if you just had like a global tournament somewhere for like qualification for Worlds, that would be so sick. And you had like 2 open slots that people could win in.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, coming into MSI right now, well, coming into Worlds later, summer, North America and EU go against each other.
That's going to be so sick. And I'm going to be so salty if we lose.
They could legit, instead of getting rid of OS and putting TCL into EU Masters, they could have legit just made that like the World's qualifier, have 4th seed EU, LCS, LCO, and heck, you could have bring in the second tier, the second place player for CBLOL and LLA too. Hell, just make a whole 3rd tournament, just for that last spot or last 2 spots for Worlds. It would suck though, because they still get knocked out, but still, that's a lot of viewers, and you can even give a prize pool. There's a lot of windows here that they could take, but one thing I really think they should do is, actually no, this could be saved for when MSI is over. Just because I think they should really bring back Gauntlet for summer, just for that 4th seed slot.
The 4th seed should be Gauntlet. I agree with that. You just miss the miracle runs of like a team, running to get that Gauntlet spot going to Worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. But yeah, with the format and NICL changing and the import rule, Berserker dropped, import rule possibly changing. How would you feel if that happened? As well as there's LCS changing to 3 splits also, or actually every league is.
Yeah, I hear that's a global thing. Let's tackle the import rule thing, because I actually just got an update on this yesterday.
Oh,
Two people I talked to pretty much told me that is almost certainly not going to happen.
makes sense.
There's a
I
push from
mean,
one or two teams, but Riot doesn't really feel like that's a
the
big
teams are
deal.
already getting around it anyways.
I know
Freaking
that
FlyQuest has basically
I get
4 imports.
I get the argument that some of these teams are making, which their point is, hey, we've kind of like tried bringing up academy stuff for like 2 years now, and viewership hasn't gone up. We would rather invest in having like a better team, and then doing well internationally, and then if we do well internationally, then that will raise viewership because people will care more about the league. But there's no guarantee with that. There's no guarantee
Yeah,
even
but
if you
is it a
import that
better
it's going to work.
team if we're
That's what
just
I'm saying.
getting
There's no
like
guarantee. Yeah.
third string imports? We're not getting the first or second. I mean, we just got
Yeah.
Prince and
Oh, we did
Vikla,
get
but
Prince.
that doesn't happen often.
Exactly.
That does not
That's an
happen
anomaly.
often.
So I don't think I don't think it's going to happen. Most people seem to think it's not going to happen. Do you guys feel like viewership went down ever since imports went up? I don't know if it's a direct correlation. I think honestly, a bunch of known players moving out of the scene and moving to streaming, and NA just doing poorly internationally for several years in a row. Yeah, I think it's definitely more that big personalities moving out and people who have come back in or have come into the league. I mean, we have been lucky with people like Vulcan. I think Sven's actually been pretty good for the league. But this is the first year where I've been like, oh, okay, they're doing a good job on broadcast, like highlighting the new personalities. Whereas before, it felt like you knew personalities because like Double Lift and I'm a Cutie Pie and Sneaky, they all streamed. So you knew who they were. Broadcast didn't have to highlight them because you watched, all these people stream.
Yeah, I definitely feel like
go ahead.
This year, even on Twitter, I see a lot more like fan art of our players. Like people care about our players more and such. After last year and just coming into this year. So no, I'm just saying. I just feel like you're right about that.
Yeah, I mean, like we have really good personalities, and I do think LCS broadcast this spring was exceptional. I thought we had a great product.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
I think if that can continue, that you're going to bring in more people, but it takes time. You usually don't see the results of something like that immediately, right? It takes time for people to latch on, and I do think that the rapid movement of players to different teams hurts the league. Because one great thing that like EU has is how long has Caps been on G2? G2 fans are latched on to that roster. Even if other players come in around him, even Fnatic. Reckless going back to Fnatic is like, okay, he's a lifelong player. Whereas like, it may be a negative, but Bjergsen being on TSM for so long was a good thing for their brand because players who liked Bjergsen were going to stay attached. And what people would say is, what is TSM's brand now? Like, who is their player?
That was legit it, and now there goes TSM, sadly.
Yeah. And it's a good reason that TL has kept Core for so long. It's like Core is associated now with Team Liquid. He's their brand, And I imagine FlyQuest will want to do a similar thing with Prince, right?
They're feel like they'll try to do that more with Spica.
Well, maybe, but I mean, like they did all Prince this, crowning him and stuff,
Yeah, but I think it's more like, do you think Prince will stay? Like,
well, no, but I think they would like to do that. I think they would to build that up as their thing. Will he? Yeah. Who knows? But whereas like before it was easier, right? C9 was like, we're new to the LCS. Everyone watches Sneaky stream on Twitch, and all of his fans are going to tune into LCS because they love Sneaky, right? And Double If was the same way. They're going to tune into LCS because they love Double. Or Aframu, who streamed a ton, Whereas like when the Vulcan JoJo era came in, it was like, well, JoJo doesn't really stream. Vulcan doesn't really stream.
Yeah, everyone who's winning doesn't stream.
So it's like, man, yeah, I get to watch like, I don't know. Luger streams, but he gets like 300 viewers, and I feel bad for him because the dude's sick. But yeah, it's just there's not as much of an inherent on it. Now it's on the LCS broadcast team to go get that audience, and that's harder,
Yeah, but I think as long as the product is still good, and it's still being shared and everything. We'll see uh good results, more fans, because as I said, I feel like I've seen more fans on Twitter than I did last year.
Me too.
Honestly, just in terms of like stuff. I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot of people actually involved. And honestly, I was surprised at finals, not gonna lie. I was like,
A
wow.
lot of people.
Yeah, lots of people, lots of different types of people. I mean, I know League is like a diverse community, but still, it's really nice to actually see it and be like, whoa, okay, this is a game that I'm into, and this is like the stuff that nice. It's nice,
Do you mean
It's
there were
cool.
normal people there? Do you mean there were
No.
people that look like they have lives that were there? I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking.
Oh man.
Okay, last
Oh
point on
jeez.
this format change. It looks like it was leaked, unfortunately, not unfortunately, thank you, Fudge, for leaking this. But other people have said this. I've heard this from a couple people. Next year, globally, it will go to a 3-split system for all of them, and there will be 3 international tournaments as opposed to 2.
Okay.
So there will be an extra international tournament in the year. Splits will be shorter, similar to how EU does. I'm not sure that every format will be exactly like EU. I know specifically the NA teams were not interested in the EU format because teams that do not perform well in the beginning get considerably less broadcast time.
Yeah.
Um,
They'd probably be more concerned about like burnout and stuff.
yeah,
They should. You
so
know what would be cool? If for these splits they did a Swiss system.
yes. Oh, someone did the math on if every EU team with the max number of games they could do in all of their playthrough, the winning team, like if they went 3 games at every best of 3, 5 games at every best of 5, they would still play less games than North America plays in a season.
Play less games?
Yeah. So they were like, oh, well, obviously for teams that want to have their product on stream and sponsors who want their stuff on stream, they're not sure that that's going to work in North America.
Yeah.
But a similar system, but something similar. It may have slight tweaks to it, but imagine a 3-split system that's similar. It will be shortened, obviously, because it has to have playoffs. I imagine that you'll probably get something. What I've heard floated around
Best
is
of twos.
either best of 2s or a regular round
Oh.
robin that all the teams then go into are seeded based on how they do in the first round robin, are then seeded into a double elimination bracket that plays in the second part.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. You just say, okay, you're playing for seeding in the first half. If you do poorly, you're not out. You can still get it together and make a run once it's not best of ones anymore. I kind of like that idea. Then obviously your 2 finalists will go to whatever tournament it is.
Okay.
Part of me doesn't love the 2 finalists go to international tournament because I always feel like that kind of takes a little bit of the hype out of the final. Because like what's great about spring finals this year for like North America, Korea, and stuff like that, or not Korea.
1-2.
One of you is going into the play-in, and the other one is getting direct seeded, and I like that stake. And I know getting a trophy is in and of itself, motivation. But we'll have to see kind of what they do with it. But just for people, expect to see 3 international tournaments next year.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not the same format as EU, I feel like they're even going to change it next year because even right now people are complaining about it and the system for it. So I'm just 100% concerned about burnout for the players in terms of it. But if it's split international tournament split, then it's guaranteed like at least maybe like a 2-week break. Well, maybe more, I don't know how long a break would be, but it's guaranteed a break for the players if there's going to be like that many international tournaments.
Yeah, I imagine we'll get something like like a shortened split. It's going to be a couple weeks shorter already than what we have now. Then we'll have international tournament, and then I imagine a break after, and then the next split will pick up. Kind of EU's been kind of rushed because it has to keep up with the stuff for the other, leagues. That's one problem with
Yeah.
having one league be 3 splits and all the others not be. Is that when EU wants to take a break, it's like, oh well, you kind of got to get back and play because MSI is coming up,
Yeah.
Which if everybody's on the same cadence, you don't have to do that, right? And I think we'll see how they schedule things out, but
I feel they'll be ready this is
I'm
like
excited about another
guaranteed.
international tournament.
Yeah, but is
But
this like guaranteed?
as far as I know, it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Because
All right, well, at least...
players have found out. I think teams have found out.
Okay,
And
so
usually
already,
Riot's
prepping
2
for
years
next
out.
year.
Yeah, Riot's usually at this point is already thinking about what next year's going to be.
Yeah.
So as far as obviously it could change. Guys, don't get mad at us if it changes. Obviously it can change, but it looks to be like what's going to happen.
Okay, well, after the test run in LEC, at least they'll have all other regions will have an idea about it, and everyone else has already like gained an opinion on it. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, it's good in these areas. This is where we don't like it. Let's change it here. So that's something that's cool, and it will hopefully make each league unique in some type of way.
Yeah, it's really nice that we got to see a trial run from EU. We got to form an opinion now and do it.
Plus, splits are pretty long. Honestly, by week 6 is when the burnout is happening. Like what I was thinking, they do just, I don't know, 6 weeks. It's the same length of the split of the season, but they do 6 weeks. First 3 is like regular like not super weeks, so it's a warm up. Then the last 3 are super weeks. After that, you go into the weeks 7 and 8 are the best of 3s.
Yeah.
And then you just go into playoffs from there.
That would be cool.
And it would be the same. It'd be the same length, but there'd be levels to it. It's like, here's your warm up stage. Here's like the freaking sprints with the super weeks. Then you have the best ofs with top 6 or whatever they choose. Yeah. But yeah,
I want to see how Worlds qualification works with stuff like this too. Obviously, 3 international events makes. There's like one issue I see with a lot of people, and I know it pushes over into players, is like people don't seem to value MSI titles as heavily as they value Worlds titles for obvious reasons. Worlds is Worlds.
Yeah.
But how does qualification for Worlds work? Let's say if you win, I really want to see what their solution is to, hey, you won Spring. What does that mean for qualifying for Worlds? Is it a point system? Is it,
I feel like they'll have to do point system because of just looking at how unhappy people are with, well, not super unhappy, but how like not too pleased people are with the Mad situation. Because although now I feel Mad's playing better, they're still not. I still don't think they're like one of the top teams in Europe.
Yeah.
But people are like, oh man, Mad can still go even if they lose twice. Yeah,
Well, I remember last year's Worlds. Hadn't they not won a best of 5 and like?
Yeah, they didn't win a single best of 5 either. So they'll after 2 years of teams making it in questionable ways, they'll probably figure out a way. But I feel like they have to. I feel like they have to do like for the 3rd place, they have to do either point system, and if they do point system, they have to do a gauntlet.
Yeah, it has to be a gauntlet. I think the only points works is do a gauntlet just for seeding in a gauntlet.
Yeah, you do each split is for the international tournament, and then you do gauntlet for summer. That would make summer even more hype. You know how crazy that would be? You have the split, and then now it's time for the gauntlet, and then Worlds.
Top 2 in summer go to Worlds, and then the next 2 slots, I would say you seed like your 3rd through 6th team, maybe?
Yeah, 3rd through 6.
And then you do a double elimination bracket where the 2 teams that make the winter finals are going to Worlds, but the loser has to play in the game against EU to get there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so then you're like,
because
if you win, you're in, but if you lose, you're going to have to play another best of 5 against an EU team to get there.
Yeah, they don't have to travel for nothing if you lose.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh dang. Yeah, no.
There's a lot of fun stuff they can do with the
we
format.
we should just make we need them to we need to make the format. Just click this, tell them.
I'm sending this to Riot. We'll make the format, okay?
Oh man, but yeah. I mean, before we wrap up, because we're good, long episode for this one.
This was good. We had a
just
lot of stuff to talk about, so it's good.
a lot of stuff to talk about, but just quick hit on some early off-season moves. So far, Dignitas has tossed Armut. Really sucks. I did like Armut. I didn't feel like he was the problem on Dig. Tossed him for Rich.
They're getting rich, baby.
I haven't heard that name in a while, and
He's
I
the HOTS
really forgot
goat.
who he was.
He's the goat of HOTS. That's the only reason I know Rich is he was the best Heroes of the Storm player. He was the best Heroes of the Storm player.
That was their reason. They were like, he was the best HOTS player, and I think this will translate well.
Yes, excellent. He's the GOAT. Okay, for people who don't know, a long time ago when HOTS first came out, I got rank 1 on North American Ladder, and I was super into HOTS for a while, guys. I thought it was going to be the next big thing. It's not. But I know Rich from that, and seeing him in North American LCS is awesome because... Oh, I have another big announcement. I got approved for LCS interviews for summer, to do interviews, to request interviews. On behalf of everything LCS and Magi, you're involved also. But I just found that out today, so I haven't told you. But I'm going to interview Rich about HOTS. We're going to talk HOTS.
Sick. Awesome.
Also, Revenge no longer with Immortals. What's gonna happen, man?
I think I don't know. It sucks because I honestly think beginning of the split, Revenge was looking hot fire. Then middle of the split, a little of a slump, but I think that was a little depression slump. But then end of the split, Balulu came in. They're early. I think IMT had one of the best early games near the end of the split, but they just threw consistently by overextending. But Revenge looked good, and so it's really weird. I wonder who they're going to replace him with, unless they promote. I don't know who their top is right now.
I don't know.
But
guys, don't get suckered in. His name in the client is EG Revenge.
That'd be nuts.
And then where's Sunday go? Where does Sunday go?
That'd be absolutely crazy if Revenge replaced some.
I think it's a troll name, but
I know, but that would be so crazy. No one expected.
But all the pros have a really high opinion of him, so I would not be surprised to see him get picked up and go somewhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was talk highly of the split too, but on the bad news of Immortals, there's good news. Well, kind of. Plus, you got demoted. Not the best news. But
it's wild.
Treats is in. Which is cool. We don't know if Tactical is still there. Makes it seem like that. Him and Tactical a little.
I think Treats had a tweet about playing with Tactical, so it feels like at least to their knowledge he's going to be there.
They were TSM Academy on the Spica Acadian Armau fiasco.
Oh, that's right. It looks like probably Tactical's going to be there.
And I think that'll be good. Maybe Immortals will get 8th.
You don't believe?
Because I think Treats will give them the brain that they were missing. And Treats has played like multiple roles during his time off.
Yeah,
so he has a good understanding of the game. But yeah, anything else you want to add, Vega?
Oh, we could talk. I mean, Marin's gone from TL. Marin is no longer coaching TL.
You think they promote Spawn? I thought they were going to promote Spawn last year.
I think Spawn's been great. I don't know what they're going to do at coaching. I have not heard anything at all. But the announcement was really weird. They said, like, due to conflict of interest with the team, he'll be returning to Korea and some of his own personal issues. I was like, does that really need to be in there? But obviously, when you have TL underperforming like they did last split.
Yeah.
Someone's going. And they did look like a team that didn't get better over the course of the split, which a lot of times people point to coaching for that.
Man.
Yeah, that's chat saying it. Threw him under the bus in a trade. And they really did just say, all right, it's Martin's fault.
Which is crazy because I saw Piosik do the same thing and get caught at blue side Wolves like 4 games in a row and lose the game. I see that happen 4 games in a row. Like how?
Yeah, I'm like.
Anyways, we're near the end, so can't go in on that right now. But yeah, threw him under the train is real.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. That's pretty much all. I'm sure more stuff will come out the closer we get to when MSI's over, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But yeah, MSI is going to be hype. It starts, I believe, the 2nd of May. Hi, Nick. Welcome.
Yo.
Yeah, MSI is the 2nd, and it's a couple weeks long. Make sure to you'll probably get another episode from us guys before MSI starts, but because we usually do a breakdown on the teams and stuff like that, so
yeah,
it'll be exciting. I went for a run today. I feel great.
Do you? That's fantastic.
A run in the park is a really nice day today.
I'm real happy for you, man.
I took off work today.
That's awesome. Now I wish I could do that. But
I just took off work. It's just like I can't work. So yeah. That's it. That's all I got. So that's what I got, man. That's what I got.
All right, awesome. That's what I got too. Thank you guys for tuning in for everything else.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Well, we will be back. Please tune in on our Twitter to know when our next episode will be there and drop, and share to your friends and family. Let them know that you got these cool guys on your Twitch and on Spotify and on Apple Music and on Amazon Music that talk about League of Legends in every way, in everything way, in the LCS
in an everything way. Yeah. I'll cut this out of the audio version. So let's do our thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night. And now for the stream only part. Now for the stream only part. We're gonna raid. It's Concordia University's League of Legends team. Our friend Kaz of Doom, you guys probably know him. He's in chats around, stuff like that. He's playing in his collegiate conference playoffs right now. So we're going to raid them. If you guys want to watch, feel free to check it out. Yeah, I need to make a raid message for... I think Nick, maybe. I think he is in Canada. Kaz is the man. He's really cool. So go support him. He's jungling right now. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Yeah, awesome. That's it, guys. Just, All
right. See you guys.
We need to make an everything LCS raid message. I'll work on that, guys.
Do we have like a name for everything LCS watchers?
Oh yeah. What do you guys want to be called? Everything LCSers. Because like we'll
figure it out.
My people are the Vegamites, which I got made fun of last night. Someone was like, Vegemite's disgusting. And I was like, okay, first of all, I'm never raiding you again. Second of all,
just wait till I get my stream going. 4 more parts, guys. 4 more parts.
Look, I've never had Vegemite, guys. It just goes with the name. You could call yourself the Vega Million.
The Vega Million.
Yeah.
The Vega Meisters.
I played a game earlier where I went 0-11-12 on Rakan. Some guy yelled at me and he added me after the game and told me to die. So that was fun. I was like, my favorite thing now is my Smurf is in Diamond 2. And when I played on my Smurf, if someone starts yelling at me, I'm like, dude, I'm 14 years old. Please, I'm trying to do my homework while I'm playing. Okay, the raid's going through. I love you guys. Have a good night.
All right.
I'll just leave you with that story. All right, goodbye.